Well, going on a big adventure. Haven't been on an adventure in quite some time. This one wasn't really planned. We're going north on Vancouver Island. We're heading up island because we're going to go to a ferry. We're just coming down off the Malahat, which is not really a mountain, but it's a big hump on Vancouver Island. And we're heading up to Departure Bay, where we'll be getting a ferry tomorrow. So, as I said, wasn't really planning on this. In fact, I'd rather be, how shall I put it, any other circumstances for a trip would be fun. But this is an unplanned trip, but it's an important trip. And just like the last time we went to Vancouver, I made a little video just a few months ago. I'm going for similar reasons, that is, medical reasons. This time, well, a similar malady, but it's in a different place. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but this is going to be a consultation to see what might be possible going forward. And so I guess I might be going back over pretty soon. Well, I hope so. Sooner rather than later. But right now it's a beautiful day, actually a beautiful autumn day to be out driving. I've always enjoyed this trip. I've done it many times. Not just driving, but cycling. I was just saying earlier to someone I met along the way that I used to cycle this quite often. My idea of fun would be to head up island, maybe a couple of 100 kilometers and back. So 400-kilometer day. In fact, we had a route here, an official route for a marathon cycling route, randonnée, called the Highway to Hell. We named it because it was all on the main highway. Mind you, I don't know if you can see the traffic right now. It's pretty busy. And it's much busier than it was when I used to do that kind of thing 15 years ago now. Wow, time flies. So much, if not all, I guess, of the future of this channel is going to really depend on the outcome of this trip and what I find out. So I anticipate at least a bit of a gap here. And I don't know if you can say, well, I just don't know. I have no way of knowing what the future will hold here. But yeah, everything depends on what I find out tomorrow. Whether that means that I'm going to be going back over to see this doctor to indeed spend some time in hospital to undergo treatment or what. But I figured I'd just do this little diary along the way just to keep everyone appraised of what's happening. I'm happy that I got sort of a big video. It's quite complex and long. Well, if 18 minutes is long. And I'm happy that I got that finished just last night and launched it this morning. That's my look at the small rig cage for the Nikon Z6 III. So I hope you're enjoying that. That may be the last video for a while. Again, depending on what happens tomorrow. Right now, I'm actually looking forward to this ferry ride. It's the first time I've been on this ferry. In fact, this ferry service hasn't been going for that long. It's a walk-on ferry, and they call it a fast ferry, 40 minutes as compared to 90 minutes for the regular ferry. And this ferry deposits us right in the middle of Vancouver, or at least in a place called Cole Harbour. And that was my old neighborhood. I lived just by Cole Harbour, or in the west end of Vancouver, back in the late 70s. So my old stomping grounds. And once again, where I'm going is Vancouver General Hospital. That's where I took you a few weeks back in May, I think it was. So we've been on Vancouver Island now for over 30 years. 32 years on Vancouver Island, Amanda.
Yes, we have. It's been a long time.
Because we came here in 1992, right? Or was it 91?
It was 91.
So, wow.
July 91.
This highway's not exactly that beautiful, but perhaps you can see from some of the B-roll that Amanda is kindly making for me right now while I yak away here. Maybe you can see just how extraordinary this part of British Columbia is. This beautiful part of the world. And we're heading north. Northern Vancouver Island is where it starts to get a little wilder. This is what would be called the mid-island right now. Obviously, the most important part of this YouTubery is the fact that it encourages me to make stuff, and I love making stuff. That's why I got into photography in the first place, because I love making stuff, particularly photographic images. And really, it's been 15 years, I think, since I started my first YouTube channel. And in that time, I've really worked at improving my skills as a cinematographer, certainly as a videographer. And I've really enjoyed that process, and I've been sharing it with you, my journey along the way, and I hope some of you have come along with me. I know from comments that, in fact, I have been of some use in that department. So the consultation itself turned into a long day of tests and exams and scans. Cameras were involved, and that was quite stressful, I have to say. Fortunately, afterwards, I met up with a dear old friend who was actually just next door having some examinations as well. And we got together, my old friend, my old climbing buddy. We had lunch and celebrated the great days in the mountains. Days when we actually faced some pretty serious situations. So that was very uplifting, I think, for both of us. Love you, Frank. So I really don't know how to end this video because everything's up in the air. I don't know how things are going to end up. But what I do know is that I'm a fighter, I'm an adventurer, and I don't give up easy. So I do hope to be back here as soon as possible for some more adventures, some more YouTube adventures. And I do think that it bears repeating that this community here has been very important to me. And I've made some very good friends along the way. One person that I'd like to mention in particular is my friend from down under, Matt Irwin, who has been a constant source of encouragement and help. And I'd like to think that it goes both ways too. I'm pretty confident that I can say that. We've been through a lot together over the last 3 years, I think, since we first sort of made contact. So again, Matt. And I want to give a shout out to all my audience who have also been a constant source of support and encouragement for me, and I've really, really enjoyed making those friends. And just a minute, let me pull over here because I want to talk a little bit more to you, my audience. Okay, I'm pulled over now so I can speak to you because I really want to address you, my audience, and thank you so much for supporting me all the way along on this YouTube adventure, which has added so much to my life. And I feel like some of you are my personal friends now. We've had a number of excellent conversations along the way. So thank you. Thank you very much for being part of this adventure. While I'm navigating this traffic jam, we're slowed down here, I want to say something about YouTube. That if and when I come back to YouTube, it's going to be different. I'm going to be concentrating on different things. I've said this many times and I haven't really lived up to it, is that I'm going to be doing more of what I want to do. And that may mean that there's a lot less, but I'm going to spend more time doing what I want to do. And damn whatever happens. I have no doubt that whatever it is I do will not be as popular as what I have been doing, and chasing the algorithm and chasing views. Yeah, that really I really have things in perspective from where I'm sitting right now. I don't mean in this car, where I'm sitting here. And we're gonna stop for the school crossing here. So yeah, I'll only be doing what interests me. And let's talk about the reviews. I'll be getting very, very picky about what reviews that I accept. And in fact, right now I'm having to turn down lots of stuff, some of which I would like to actually review. But I have more important things to do right now, and of course I can't promise anything to anyone. I do want to say at this point that I'm very thankful also. I should also credit those brands that have trusted me to represent their products. I'm really, really grateful to those guys as well. Well, I'm home, at least for now, and I need to thank one last person, last but definitely not least, and that is my wife Amanda, who has been through several of these situations before, and I'm lost for words at how lucky I am to have such a person who has really, for better or worse, through sickness and health, been my partner, my best friend, my B-cam shooter, and 100,000 other things besides. And lastly, I just want to say that please do give this video the old thumbs up if you found it interesting at all, if you found it an adventure, and if this is your first visit to my channel, please do consider subscribing, hit that notification bell so you don't miss, hopefully, some new content from me in the future. In the meantime, take care, cheers, we'll see you later.